What would it take to boost your engagement in Canadian politics?
I'm very engaged. Yes, I'm retired and I spend a certain amount of my time following what's going on. I email my MLAs, MPs, other members of Parliament frequently.
A good leader in a dynamic party. Somebody that, as far as federal, I can't see anybody right at this moment going up against Trudeau that has the ability to beat him. I just can't see it right at the moment because the parties that are going after him, the Conservative, and they have no leader that has a polished demeanor about him. There's nobody out there that just goes, yeah, I'm here, I'm ready, and I'm going to go up against him and I want your vote. I don't see that anywhere.
I've done a little bit of volunteering with one of the parties, and it's sometimes it feels like you're banging your head against the wall. So it seems like the parties, we basically have the three main parties, and mostly it's been Liberal and Conservative in Canada, and of course, so being who I am, I lean more conservatively for sure, but they just don't seem to accomplish a whole lot. So it's hard to get more involved politically.
Well, I'm already engaged, but we could have far more if we had greater openness on politics. I mean, if we had less control over Parliament from the Prime Minister's office, more independent MPs, where you feel you can actually make a difference, that they can say things that represent the interests of the constituents or the things that they really care about. If there are more free votes, I think just getting more engagement and having people better recognize just how important it is to have a democracy, rule of law, and have governments pay much more attention to it. And we're seeing that now with what people in Ukraine are willing to do to maintain their freedom, and how many of those freedoms we've been willing to sacrifice here by giving way to things that aren't paying as much attention to rule of law and the various underpinnings for a functioning democracy.
To be more engaged with it is that the government is more held accountable for their actions. So when they had the Trudeau and the We scandal, nothing came of it. So after that, my faith for it, I don't really care anymore. It's just a lot of drama, and I'll just go live my life and have fun.
Yeah, more action and more funding towards affordable housing and things that could improve his getting us out of the cold more often.
I'm already interested in following politics. I think that increasing engagement has to be done at a local level. So starting with more activities which are geared at gathering people in to talk about local issues as it affects the more national agenda.
And then I feel like in terms of like young people just getting stuff on campus and making it really easy to do stuff like vote, because like we're busy people, like we have stuff to do, and so voting sometimes falls to the bottom of my agenda if I have like exams going on or something like that. And also just, having education in schools and stuff like that to really engage young people.
I think things happening on a more local level where things are directly impacting your community, how you can have solutions in your community in your more regional center rather than big sweeping things countrywide or province-wide.
I don't know if I've ever been super into Canadian politics before, but I don't know, when I guess I get to have an opinion in things, that makes me more involved or want to get involved in things, so yeah.
I don't know, sometimes I find they're a bit complicated, so if they're a little more simpler, I think I'd be a lot more involved.
I think I'm already fairly engaged just in terms of sort of following and making some comments and being a little bit involved. But to boost that, I don't know what it would take. Maybe a little bit more less politicking and less partisanship. Maybe I think it's unfortunate right now the level to which there's games being played on the different sides. I feel personally, especially a lot of gamesmanship on the conservative side of things, but that's just my politics showing through there. But to be involved more than I am, yeah, I don't really know what it would take. But right now, it feels a little bit seedy, that world, actually. Yeah, it's not attracting the best people, sadly.
Cutting the amount of, I guess, actually politicking that's going on and showboating with all of that. I used to be quite engaged with them, but with a lot of the extremism that's, I guess, trickling up from the States, it's been less enjoyable to watch as people get more into arguing matches instead of actual good debate. So I think going back to discussing the real issues instead of showboating and making a big deal out of nothing would definitely draw me back towards it.
I don't know if it would take anything in particular. I mean, there's a general, I think there are good people everywhere and there are good people in political life. But as far as leadership, I mean, I think there's a general consensus that, the standards for political life or being in public life have sort of slipped a little bit, right? Character doesn't matter as much as it used to, and I think it should. So, I mean, I'm always happy to see good people, right, getting into public life and holding office and trying to discern some common goods. That's what it's really about.
If you want to improve engagement, there has to be more transparency, and there has to be more of a connection between the government and, everyday people.